So it looks like it's all go at Celtic Park right now. Kyogo's out the door. We missed the game today because it got postponed. And it looks like Jota's on his way back home.
As we travel with you far away, through the triumph and struggle, we're there side by side.
What's happening, Celtic family? I hope you're all well out there. You know the score by now. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. It is absolutely free to do so and really does help me grow this channel. Cheers. So before we talk about the game against Dundee being postponed today, we've got to talk a wee bit about Kyogo, and I know that you have heard it from multiple sources, but Kyogo has obviously left the club. I have tried to put this off for a long time because I knew that there was people jumping on it as soon as they heard. We didn't really know what was going on. There was nothing confirmed. And I don't suppose there's anything really being confirmed as I do this video right now. But it's pretty much confirmed. If Brendan Rodgers is jumping on his press conference and saying that, you know, he's out in France, he's doing a medical, and it's going to be confirmed in the next 24 hours. So Kyogo is gone. Now, by the time I got back to my car on Wednesday after the game against Young Boys, we had heard this, that Kyogo was looking to leave. I didn't think much of it, I've got to be honest. I didn't think that Celtic would let him go at this point in time in the season. I thought that it was going to be a summer job. I thought if any point in time that Kyogo was going to go, it'll be in the summer. I didn't think January, because we've still got Champions League to play, we're still in the Scottish Cup, and we've still got to see out the league. We all know that the league is over. Totally, we all know that the league is over, but we still got to see it out yet until it's mathematically impossible. So I didn't think Kyogo would go. And for the reasons of him going, it's something that's obviously been talked about over the last few months or whatever. And I have to be completely honest. It was the goal that he scored against Ross County a few weeks back, just sort of over that Christmas break there. When he scored that goal, normally he will interact with the Celtic support. And we didn't really see that. I remember speaking to my father at half-time, or full-time, sorry, and saying to him it was strange how Kyogo didn't sort of interact with the crowd or really celebrate that much. And I said then, I think he might be out the door. But then, as my father said to me as well, nah, not yet. He won't go in January. And then it made more sense. I thought, nah, he's definitely not going to go in January. If anything, he'll go in the summer. But doesn't look like that. He's away to Rennes. He's out there in France right now doing his medical. And to be honest with you, the guy has been an absolute brilliant servant for us. And we all knew that it was going to come to some point where he was going to leave. He's now turned 30. And we all know that football in general is a short career. So he's turned 30 and he wants to try something completely different. And for that, I totally get it. He wants to give himself another challenge. And you can't blame the guy for that, because what he's done, I mean, he's came here, he's played 165 games, he scored 85 goals, and he's been an absolute joy to watch in the period of time that he's been at Celtic. So from me, he goes with all my best wishes, and anytime he wants to come back and cheer on the boys inside Celtic, he is more than welcome, him and his family, because the guy has been an absolute brilliant servant to Celtic. And he's been a joy to watch. He's been an absolute joy to watch. As I've said, and I've said on here that I've kind of slated him over this season, but I don't think that it's been unjust. I think that this season he hasn't really hit the heights that we know what Kyogo is capable of. But saying that, over the last sort of half a dozen games, I have been more than happy, and it has been great to watch Kyogo kind of get back to the way that Kyogo that we're all used to. And on Wednesday night, that was exactly it. It was a joy to watch Kyogo on Wednesday night. I really, really enjoyed watching him. And that looks like that is going to be the last time I get to stand in the terrace and watch him. Then I'm quite happy with that, because his performance was brilliant. He put 3 goals in the back of the net. Okay, none of them stood, but he put 3 goals in the back of the net. Not only that, he worked his socks off, knowing that he was going to be leaving. He worked his absolute socks off. And for that, for all the good memories that he's given us, I wish the guy nothing but all the success in the world. He's been absolutely amazing. For any of you guys out there who didn't get to see Brendan Rodgers' press conference yesterday, it's worth a watch, but it's not great watching because they've obviously tried to do it through a Zoom call because of all the bad weather, so it does lag a lot. But let me just read out to you a bit of what Brendan said in the press conference. Kyogo had expressed interest to leave a number of months back. Obviously then the expression becomes stronger, and then it gets to a stage where he clearly wants to leave, and we have to then do a deal to look to finalise that for him. He's been an incredible player for the club in the 3.5 years he's been here, and like I said, it's not someone that we wanted to lose. But we have to accept where he's at, and after the work that he has done to give Celtic and his age and where he is at, we have to accept that. There's obviously issues around the timing, but we have been aware, so it's not something that has just been sprung on us. We understand that we are going to lose him and that we have to replace that quality to keep the team moving forward. It's something that's been going on in a little while, and hopefully we come out of the window with a stronger squad. So as you can see in Brendan's press conference, that they've obviously been fully aware for a number of months now that Kyogo's maybe wanted to take on another challenge, and that's absolutely fine because they've obviously been looking how to fulfill that position. But what I don't get, and it's not just, I'm not saying this is on Brendan, he's obviously been told there's some things that you can say and some things that you can't by the people who are higher up. But as Brendan said, he made that big statement and that big fiasco a couple of months ago, the whole thing with Greg Taylor and Evan. But he did say in that press conference that he's in a point in his career now that he's just going to say whatever it is when he wants to say it. So the fact that they've known about this for months and they've been asked in December about incomings and outgoings, they were quite happy to tell you about Stephen Welsh leaving and what their plans were there. So why not mention that there is a possibility that Kyogo might be moving on in January? Now, I know there'll be so many people who come into the comment section and talk about, well, this is why they won't do it, this is because of this and that, and people are not allowing them to say it. I totally get all of that. But I've heard Brendan Rodgers say many a time, and it's the truth, it's absolutely true what he says, there's no one more important in this football club than the support. So therefore, I think that the support should have been told. They should have been told that in January, there's a possibility that Kyogo could be moving on. Now, people can give me 101 different reasons why they wouldn't come out and say that. And I would probably agree with a lot, but it is true. The most important people in this club, I'm just talking from a Celtic point of view, I'm sure in every club, the fans are the most important because ultimately, this is why these guys do it. These guys do it for the fans. If it wasn't for the fans, then football would be nothing. We've heard that before. If it wasn't for the fans, football would be nothing. And it's so true. So to not get, they've obviously known that for this for months, and it's massive news. For them not to come forward and tell the support that this is a possibility, this could happen, to me, I don't understand it. I don't understand it, and if you do understand it and you want to enlighten me, please leave it in the comments section, because I just don't get, if you've known about something for months and you're being asked about incomings and outgoings and you're willing to speak about certain people and knowing about Kyogo, I think would have just been the time to say that, you know, possibly Kyogo, he's shown an interest in maybe trying a new challenge, and so in January that might be a position that we need to fill. I don't understand it, but as I said, write in the comment section why they wouldn't tell us. I just think that we should be told these kind of things. And the thing was, we would have been able to give Kyogo a proper send-off. Of course, you're going to get people that are upset. It's happened so many times because when players have got such a good bond with the support, when they leave, it's difficult, it's hard, and it's difficult for them, and it probably is upsetting for them because they've created this bond with the support. So there's always going to be people out there who are upset and angry. And they're only angry because they're upset because they generally really like this player and they don't want him to leave. But we all know how football works and we all know how Celtic works. But we're Celtic and we keep moving forward, so much so that we're looking to bring Jota back. But listen, everything moves on and everything happens for a reason, and you know fine well that there's been massive talk since he left about Jota coming back. But it looks like it's happening. It actually looks like it's going to happen. I think we're pretty much over the line with it. As I said, if you watch Brendan Rodgers' press conference, he's basically said that it's just the finer details. And for that, Brendan could have swerved that question, but he didn't. He went straight in and he answered it, and he basically says, listen, the deal's almost done. We just need to get a couple of things over the line, and hopefully within 24 hours it will be done. That was done yesterday. By the time I'm doing this is Saturday night, and I've not looked, but as of yet, as it stands now, I've not had any confirmation that Jota has actually signed and it's signed, sealed and delivered. But I would imagine that it's definitely going to happen sometime over this weekend, if not Monday morning, that we will get the confirmation that we all want. And we do all want. We all want Jota back. As soon as Jota left, and then when we heard that there's a potential when he left that he might come back because it's not working out for him out in Saudi, then we all would have welcomed him with open arms, and we will all welcome him with open arms. Jota's a guy that played 83 games for us, scored 28 goals and got 26 assists. The guy was absolute brilliant, and not only did he do all that for us and score them amount of goals and play that amount of games for us in a short period of time that he was there, he was a joy to watch. His football was amazing. It was so good to watch. He's another player that the Celtic support just absolutely fell in love with because he played the football that Celtic supporters want to watch. Direct football, high intensity, run at the defence, flair like Jinky Johnston. I'm not comparing him to Jinky Johnston. I'm just saying his sort of showboating and the things that he'd done was amazing and an absolute joy to watch. But not only with the showboating, he came with goals, he came with assists. And he was an absolute joy to watch, and I can't wait to see him put back on the green and white hoops and get back involved and see out the rest of this season and have him back in the Champions League. It's a great bit of business by Celtic when they eventually get this over the line, and it will be so good to see him back. And as I said, the Celtic support will definitely welcome him with open arms. So to have Jota back, it's going to be amazing. We're also looking at getting Kieran Tierney back, but there's nothing confirmed on Kieran Tierney as of yet. We all know that it's happening. And I think even Brendan didn't mention Kieran, but they said something about Kieran and he didn't dismiss it this time. He has dismissed it in the past, but he didn't dismiss it this time. I see he was actually playing for Arsenal tonight. But we all know that Kieran Tierney is going to be coming back. So to have Jota and Kieran Tierney back, to me, it's quite a successful window. And I don't doubt for 1 minute that there's going to be other players. I know there's talk about other players coming back in or coming into the squad, and a few other players going out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the coming days with that. But with Jota coming back, Kieran Tierney coming back, kind of softens the blow a wee bit about Kyogo, although we are all gutted that Kyogo's went. But it does soften that blow a wee bit to have Kieran Tierney come back in at the side and to have Jota come back in there. It's quite a good transfer window, that alone, for me. But we are looking to strengthen in more areas, so it's going to be good to see who else comes in here. And we woke up this morning to the fact that the game against Dundee was postponed. I kind of held off because I knew it was a possibility that it was going to be postponed. Until I couldn't really hold off any longer because I hadn't heard anything at all. So I started getting my trainers on and getting ready to leave and head down the road, and then it came in that the game had been postponed. Now, any of you that haven't seen the pictures, you could see that there's a bit of damage done to Celtic Park, and the thing is, it probably was right to postpone it, because if anything had came down that maybe they had done visual checks and checked everything, but maybe something was missed, and and it came down and it had hit any of the fans, God forbid, because it was the absolute right decision to postpone it. Even that, all the roads, so people that were travelling, I know that there's a few people who actually did start travelling down to the game and turned round and came back, because even the roads just had so much debris over it, and it wasn't a particularly comfortable drive for people, and so I know people did turn around. I was just about to leave, as I said, but I didn't. We then got the confirmation that it wouldn't be going ahead, and for me it's the correct decision. I know that there's a lot of people who have came over from Ireland, came over for the game, but I know that they would have had to leave early, and hadn't they taken the chance and the game had actually went ahead, they would have been kicking themselves. So, but I think that they would completely understand why it's been cancelled. But for those of you who don't know, the game has been rescheduled for the 5th of February, and it's a 7:45 p.m. kickoff. So the Dundee game, 7:45 p.m. on the 5th of February. Listen guys, I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to jump on and kind of go over the whole Kyogo thing. As I said, I tried to put it off as late as possible until things were completely confirmed, even though all of us knew that he was gone. But I didn't just want to jump on it and just go over things that people were already saying. But I wanted to come on and express myself that, you know, I am gutted that Kyogo's went. I know that I've been on here and I've been a bit harsh to him over this season, not knowing probably what's going on in the background and knowing that he was going to be leaving, and he's obviously known that for a long time. But I can only go by what I see on the pitch. And for me, Kyogo this season just hasn't really been performing that well, apart from the last sort of half a dozen games where I've been really quite happy with his performances. But as a whole this season, Kyogo's just not really hit them heights for me. But it's sad to see him go. I do wish him all the best, because he is a great player, and he obviously just wants a new challenge, and that I completely understand. The guy's 30 years old. He's probably got another 4 or 5 years in his career, and he wants to try something different. So for that, Kyogo, as I said, you're always welcome back inside Celtic Park anytime you want to cheer on the boys, and I wish you all the best. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. You know the score by now. Please hit the subscribe button below. It is free to do so. Helps me grow the channel. Until next time, guys, I'll see you then. Stay safe out there, Celtic family. Hail, hail, and take it easy.